Hello, hello, hello. I'm trying to get the music cooking. Hold on a second here. The background music that I just realized 1 second ago was not playing. All right, let me get that in a new window. And then, where is it? Window capture. It should be playing? Maybe? Maybe? No, of course not. uh, let's see. Window capture. Maybe it'll be a musicless stream. I don't know. If I can't get it working in the next like 2 minutes, we're just gonna do it without music. You're actually here on time this time. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying to sort out why is my background music not playing. All right, let's try this again. Um, whoa, we don't want that. All right, whatever. this may be window. Okay. Well, I tried. I don't think the music's gonna work, folks. It says it's playing, and the screen capture is just not working. Cool. Well, we're gonna rock without the background music today, folks. I hope that's all right. The mic's working, the camera's working, the iPad is working. These are the things that matter. So, never mind. We're gonna do some animal hybrid sketches as promised for this whole stream. Let me just think. Let me just write out some animals that I think would be fun to mix and match with stuff from previous weeks, and then just throw out suggestions in the chat as well if you want to see some animals in this mix. I want to do more with penguins because I think they weren't explored enough. Like I just did the rockhopper. I think there's like emperor penguins and Galapagos penguins. There's other penguin opportunities. Um, yes, please throw me all the animal hybrid ideas. Um, you know what? Maybe real quick. Let me see if I can do this. Where's that like wheel spinner website that all the Sims YouTubers use? Where is it? Where is it? Picker wheel. There she is. Maybe I can set this up in a window capture and have this on stream. Let me. This is on the fly, folks. Let me zoom out so I can read it. Test. Test 2. Test 3. Test 4. All right. And then let's see if I can get this window capture working. Where did it go anyway? Where did I put this? Window cap. Not this. This is the iPad. Oh my gosh. What a disaster. Spotted skunk. Oh, that would be cute. Where on earth did I... Whatever. Sorry about the dead air here, folks. It's gonna look weird for a second. Window capture. Picker wheel. Alright. This is not a very beautiful, wheel. How do I crop it? Guys, this is stuff I should have done before stream. I'm so sorry. How do I make it so it doesn't display the entire page? You know, and just a section of it. There's got to be a way to do this. Transform. There's got to be a way to crop it. It's ridiculous. Well, we can put that down here. Let's see. If you want a penguin, you can do a polar bear and the Antarctica penguin. This is going to drive me nuts because the toolbar and all this stuff. We don't need all that. That's just ridiculous. There has to be a way to like crop the edge of that. Let me real quick. To crop window capture. I don't want to watch a video. Just tell me. Right click on window capture and select transform, edit transform. Transform, edit transform. Crop. Yes, here we go. Top. Yes. All right. All right. All right. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Sorry for the figuring stuff out as I go. It's not highly professional, but we're figuring it out. 350. 400. You know what? That's good enough. So we're going to put that there. Make it a little bit bigger. Hopefully that's legible enough for stream purposes. Put that down there. Find the spinner window. Not this. Picker wheel. Where is it? Okay. 15 minutes later vibes. Yeah, exactly. All right. No, we got it. We got it. We got it. Oh, it's because I scrolled the page down. Okay. I have to leave it right here. Okay. Spotted skunk. Let's do 10 different options. Okay. Let's see. Rabbit, llama. Rabbit, llama. We're going to do more than 10. Duck, snake, mouse. This is a great list. Tortoise, frog, bee, spider, moth, cat, butterfly, dog, beaver, bear, goldfish, sloth, octopus, shark, bunny, slug. This is an excellent list. I'm also going to throw otters because they're my favorite. And there's some other animal I wanted to do. Did I add penguin already? Did I? I'm looking at penguin. Penguin. Okay. If there's 2 penguins, then so be it. I don't like how there's 2 green next to each other, so I'm just going to put owl so it breaks it up. Okay. That's aesthetically pleasing enough. Spotted skunk. I do have spotted skunk on here and the dark green on the left there. All right. So, without further ado, let's get spinning. First spin. I don't know if that makes a loud noise or not. I'm sorry if it does. I'm going to mute the tab if I can. No, it's all right. B. Okay. So we're doing B plus. Let me write this down. Write that down. Write that down. B plus. See, I got it all figured out in like 5 minutes or less. It's not too bad. B plus shark. Okay. Okay. We're doing B plus shark. Penguin bee. Penguin bee would be really cute. Okay. Let me think on how to do this. So let me move the picker wheel window out of my way here. Let's put the wheel there. The wheel can sit. I'm going to leave the options there. I'm not going to delete them because we can get other combinations. And if we re-roll the same combination, we'll just roll again. Let me look up shark. Let me get an idea of what sharks look like on Google Images here. Oh, scary. Great. Okay. They're spooky. Let's do a big puppy-looking shark with some wings and stripes. No, I'm gonna leave bee and shark on the wheel for now. If we end up spinning, like, say there's like 3 different combinations with bee or something, that's a little excessive and we'll delete it. But for now, we'll leave them. All right. So let me just warm up. I haven't drawn yet today. Have I? No, I did a little bit of drawing like way earlier today, and then I had a voice lesson, got myself some nice lunch, and then took a nice nap. So very busy day for me. All right. I like how rotund you can make a shark, and bees are also very round. So I think this kind of like fat football shape is a good way to start. Jeff the land shark in a bee costume. Aw, he could have a bee costume. I'm gonna try to think as if it's like a real hybrid. Shark fins are a little bit further back than I think they are. Just looking at a side view of a shark. But I mean, I am squishing this thing like a fat little football, so. Get a cute little smile there. Really round and chubby, yeah. Yeah, we gotta make it a cute shark bee. Just starting with mostly shark. And then figuring out the bee elements. Because I definitely want to give him stripes. Probably antenna. A little stinger, maybe? No, he's already got a tail. But maybe that looks kind of crazy if it's just a stinger. He needs a fat little tail, definitely. And it's like the bigger part of the tail on top and then a smaller little fin on the bottom. This is a very pleasing chubby shark shape. I'm content with it. Tiny little wings. Yes, you get the vibe. Multiple legs that look like fins. Ooh. Okay, yeah, changing the fins to legs would be interesting. Let's chop these fins off for now. Or maybe you could have two little teeny little fins in the front and then other fins, so it's like 6. This one's in the back. We could do fins, or we could do like bee legs. I'm just throwing stuff up here. And then I definitely want to do like a beady eye, because that's very sharky and also very cute. Then how do I do the stripes? Let me think. I think the stripes should start behind the fin, so we might actually move this fin up a little bit here. And then the stripes can start... No, that's not enough room for the stripes. Black, and then I want the whole tail to be in black like it's the stinger. This is a really rough sketch, but hope you can see some of the vision here. Is 3 stripes enough? Big round eyes. Maybe they're like flippers. I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute today and I'm not catching up with chat. So, beady eyes. I could do like a compound eye or something, but that might be a little creepy. I kind of like the 6 fins as opposed to the legs, but I feel like he needs more bee features, so we definitely need some teeny little bee wings. I'm gonna Google what bee wings look like. They have little like veiny details in them as well. Sneak that other wing back here, and then antenna. I think that's enough for a hybrid. We got stripes, we got wings, we got antenna, we got the 6 legs / fins. I don't like how the stripe's gonna like not continue on to the legs. Ooh, so maybe the fins should all be black. And then it doesn't matter because it'll kind of fade into the stripe. And then these 2 in the front will just kind of stand out a little bit. Antennae. Okay. Bee antennae. A honeybee or a normal bee with a stinger. I was thinking a honeybee just because that's what I think when I think bee, or like a bumblebee because he's kind of fat and chubby and fuzzy. He could be kind of fuzzy on the back end. He could have some fuzz. Fluffy. Are bumblebee antenna any different than honeybee in terms of shape? Not really. It's kind of the same. The fins do kind of look like he looks like he's scuttling like Mr. Krabs. Like he would make the sound that Mr. Krabs makes when he clicks along the ground. Bee antenna, it's kind of like this. And then a big chunk like that. It's like a little shorter and then a bigger piece here. They have a proboscis too, but I feel like that's a little silly for a shark. It would look like I just kind of glued it on. I'm trying to avoid making it look like I just glued stuff onto the animal, but I guess the wings kind of look like that. Let's change the wing shape. I was thinking more of a simple cartoony style, but maybe slightly more realistic where it's 2 sections like that, but still chubby. So maybe something like that. Make the legs end, maybe the legs end at a point. Money, money, money. I'll try some other leg stuff out here in a second. This is a rough warm-up hybrid, I guess. Wings look like that would be anywhere. It's just little tiny. This is how I would stylize just a little honeybee. Maybe I'll have a couple other like regular bees floating around him. Just add a little something or other. Some fun. They should be able to fly. Well, this guy defies all known laws of aviation. His fat little body is somehow able to lift off the ground. We'll do a couple little It's like cells almost, the way the wing is kind of has those lines on it. Reminds me of cell walls when you look at like plant cells under a microscope or something in high school. Did they ever make you look at, like, in our school we didn't do frog dissection or any of that, but they had us look at a sheep eyeball, which was interesting. The reflective stuff that's in the back of the sheep eyeball is really pretty. It looks like an oil spill or something. What would a hybrid of this bee shark hybrid be called? A bark? That's cute. He looks like he'd bark like a chain chomp, but I think that's just because of the teeth. I think the teeth are making me think that he would bark like a chain chomp. Alright, we're gonna really quickly duplicate him, because I want to try something else out with the legs, just to see what it would look like, and then we'll have like a or B option, and then I'll clean it up, and we can move on to our next hybrid. I'm going to keep these all black and white sketches for today. If any of them are like huge hits, like they're just the cutest thing you've ever seen, let me know in the chat, and I might do a colored final version of like the favorites from this stream. And I might do another hybrid stream next stream now that I've figured out the wheel here on the fly. I think that's fun. So thank you for the fire emojis. Could the legs be round and end in a point to reference the fins? Let's see. Let me think. Round and end in a point, like an exaggerated bee leg like that. Maybe that's too big. Maybe to keep with the size of the wings, we keep it small. Like that. Is that the kind of point you mean, or something different? So it's kind of a stylized bee leg. If I'm looking at how a bee leg actually looks, like the back leg of a bee is like with a little point at the end. Oh, these ones would point backwards then. Something like that. Or both of these would. Both of these would, and then the front would point forward. This is really rough. You like the fins? Yeah, I kind of like the fins too, but I just wanted to try something else, you know? Alright, real quick. A or B? Chat, type in A for the fins for the legs, and B, the more bee-like legs. The legs would look spiky. Yeah, if we want to add a little edge and spike. Have a little point at the end of them. The more bee-like legs or the more shark-like fins? A. Alright, I'm going to take a sip of my Diet Coke while I let the votes roll in. A. B. A. Okay. The A's have it. So we're going to get rid of old B. And then we're going to clean up this sketch and then move on to the next hybrid. You're in the minority. Yeah, you've been outvoted, I'm afraid. That's okay. Maybe you're just trendier than everyone. I don't know. You're a real trendsetter. You don't go with the crowd, you know? Could A get the little claws? You mean like the little spikes on the ends? What do we think about adding little spikes to the fins? Yay or nay? While I ink the rest of it. How do we feel about that? What about the stripes? I'm gonna leave the stripes like this, though I might do it like this so it looks a little fuzzier, like a bumblebee. Give him a little fuzz. You're a free thinker. You certainly are. Right. Oh, you like the little spikes on the end of the fins? That was your idea for the legs? You like that? Cool. I'll leave the little spikes on because I think it does add a little touch of bee-ness. Bee-esque quality. Sorry. Nay feels more in the spirit for today. I mean, positively. A horse, yes. It doesn't feel like a bee, even if you know bee feet. Maybe I'll do it just on the front because I really like how it looks on the front. It's like he's grabby. We'll compromise. We'll leave. How about chat, folks. Let me cook. We'll do these. The B sharps. He's cute. Thank you. We'll do little grabbers, the little pointed claws on the front ones. And then we can leave these not black, maybe? Like, these can be yellow. No, they would all be black, because bee legs are like that, where it's like... Coloring comes later. What would be a good name? You guys want to do Jeff? His little stingies? Yeah, we'll leave them on the front. I like how he looks a little grabby in the front legs. They're like his hands or something. I like Jeff. What's wrong with Jeff for this guy? I'm imagining a little name tag on him, like he's introducing himself to everyone, and it says Jeff. I'm not going to leave that, but I'm imagining it in my mind. Let's do a nice... Ooh, not like that. Nice round snoot. He looks kind of like a blimp, but that's okay. We love him like this. My name is Jeff. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Jeff the Land Shark is a Marvel character. See, I didn't even know that. I just thought, what a nice name for this young man. Or I thought it was the meme. My name is Jeff. Whatever. Jeff the Bark. Jeffy. Jeffrey, the full name. His name is Jeffrey Bach. He is. He's a very sophisticated man. Alright, we're gonna do the black fuzzy stripe here. And I might even color all this in solid black. And then the back one will be like cross-hatched, maybe. For shading. No, I'll leave that because I can do it grayscale. The back one. But I think this will all be solid. Jeff the Bark. He's a bee shark hybrid. Be nice to him. Jeffrey Bark. We're not doing Skibbity Jeff. We're not doing that. You've been outvoted by me. He's his own character. He's not Jeff. Maybe he's just going by Jeff at the hybrid animal party. That's just what he's telling people his name is. He's invited. All the hybrids I've drawn so far and that I will draw today and next stream. Because I do want to do this for one more stream at least to get used out of this wheel here. Because I think it's fun. That's just how he's introducing himself. He's a cutie. I like the fuzzy stripes. Yeah, the fuzzy stripes add a touch of bumblebee to him. The Adventure Time scene with Sir Jeffers' Mysterious Wedding. I think the voice fits him. I don't know that voice off the top of my head, and if I didn't have everything all muted, I would go look it up. I don't want to mess with my audio, but I trust that it's a very cute and fitting voice for this guy. I'll leave the back legs, as it were. I'll leave them uncolored. I'll do a little fuzz here. And then those will be... I'll add a quick grayscale just to add a little bit of dimension without adding a bunch of color. So we'll have time for multiple hybrids today. I want to do as many as I can in this 2-hour time frame here. He's a cutie. Love that. What, that he's just telling everyone his name's Jeff? You know what I think is fun, but I don't have the courage to do it, is those people that just go to random open houses to go tour expensive mansions that they can't afford, and they just make up stories about their fake multi-million-dollar job and what they do for a living. They just like come up with an alter ego and just pretend they're that rich person for the day for fun. That sounds so fun to me, but I don't have the courage for it, even though there's no, like, it's not illegal to do that. I would just get nervous. People would know I was lying. I don't have it in me. I'm not a good enough liar for that. But I've heard people say that they'll like do stuff like that for fun. And it sounds fun, but I'm not built for that. So would Jeffrey have scales or fuzz? That's a great question. I'd like to think that all the stripes are actual fuzz, and that up until this point, it's just whatever shark skin feels like. So it's shark skin up until the fuzz starts here, and then this is all fuzz. That's what it feels like in my mind's eye. I mean, he could have scales just because. I think what they meant is like, what's the whole joke about like sharks are smooth, and then everybody correcting them saying, actually, sharks aren't smooth. So they don't necessarily have scales per se, but they might feel scaly or rough and not smooth. Wasn't that like a whole Tumblr meme years ago? Everybody correcting everybody saying sharks look smooth. They do look smooth like dolphins or something. And I am tempted to slap the beluga's bald head when I go to the aquarium and see the beluga whale. They look satisfying to put like a little soft dent in the top of their little marshmallow heads. Too honest. Yeah, that's my problem. They're smooth. They're smooth like smooth. No one's gonna test that theory. Yeah, are you lining up to pet a shark? Me either. I guess maybe like a tiger shark or one of the safe ones, you know. A couple little bees. And then we'll hide that sketch layer. And here's we're gonna call him Jeff. Jeffrey Bark. What do we think of old Jeffrey? We'll do another wheel spin. I just want to make sure he's front and center on the screen. You'd love to pet a shark? You're braver than I am. Like a great white or like one of the safer ones? I saw some footage the other day of like somebody looked underneath the water where they were swimming at, and there was a whale shark underneath the boat. Ooh, they won't hurt you. They can't hurt you, to my knowledge, but that would terrify me. That's like one of my biggest fears, is just dipping my head under the water and there's a whale. All right. Successful hybrid number 1 complete. I'll leave him on the screen while we spin here. Let me find the old wheel window. Where did it go? Picker wheel. All right, let's give her the old spin. Sharks do look like puppies. I'd love for him to be yellow. Alright, slug or bunny? Slug. Okay. We're gonna just do new layers here. Hide this. Hybrid number 2 is slug plus... Also, is the wheel making a really obnoxious noise? Because I have everything muted and I can't tell, but... Slug plus llama. Interesting. Ew, slug and llama. We'll make it work. Let me cook. Okay, let me not do that. Move this window back to down on the bottom of the screen. Cheering for the Rain World fan art. Sharks don't actually think to eat human blood when they smell it. They can, but it doesn't give them the same reaction as fish blood. Interesting. I didn't know that. Alright, slug. Let me just look at a slug. Yep, gross. Okay. To familiarize myself with the parts of a slug. It's slug body, and then fat little slug eyes. And then sometimes some of them have spots, so I think we can work some spots into the llama to make it look a little more sluggy. There's not much to a slug, so I think the body will have to be more slug-like than llama-like. I'm getting an idea already of the shape. It can be kind of like a marshmallow peep or something. Also, cutting the A off llama, so it was just llama there for a minute. And then llama. Let me look at a llama. Let me take a gander. Slug as a slime. A salami. That's a good name for a slug and llama. Slugs are one of the very few you don't like. Well, let's see if I can make something that's so cute that even you're like, yeah, I could live with that. That's my challenge now. All right, let me get a good picture of a full body. Oh, perfect. This, if you search llama, or maybe my search is different, on Google Images, there's a picture of a llama laying down, and all you can see is the one leg sticking out. And if I chop the one leg off, it's a slug shape. So this is going to be perfect. All right. I think I have an idea of how to make this work. So the photo I'm looking at, it's got the llama head, which I'm going to take a look at side view of llama head shortly, to get a better idea of how to draw this. But it's laying down and it has one leg sticking out like this, and then the rest of the body's like this on the grass, and you can't see any of the other legs. So what's the obvious thing? Chop the leg off. That's a slug body right there. Now let's see if I can make this a little more slug-like. Like that. And the head can be like this, but I want to make it a little sillier to make it cuter. So we're going to make the head a little bit bigger, but keep that neck nice and long. Otherwise it won't look very llama-ish. We're going to do some spots. And I think I'll make him fuzzy, because I think fuzzy is cuter than slimy. So it's just this big fuzzy llama blob. And then he'll have the antenna, but they won't be his eyes. They'll just be like cute little additions to his ears, because I think having just the antenna and no ears is a little creepy. So I think just having them almost like horns, like giraffe horns or something, might be cute. That little saddle that looks really nice. Maybe, yeah. The shorter a bug's legs are, the better. If you have no legs, then you're golden. The exception is mantises, who are too cool. Yeah, mantises are one of the few bugs that I like too. Make the ears the eyes. Oh yeah, I could. So I could do like the stems like there, and then he's got regular eyes. Hold on. Let me cook. I just want him to be cute and lovable is my thing. So I feel like if I eliminate too many cute features, he becomes creepy. Which seems like an obvious thing to say, but... Alright, llama, head, side view. I want to get the proportions right of the llama head, because they're a little funny looking. They have really big eyes and eyelashes. I might do a closed eye to make it simpler and really emphasize those, like, pretty eyelashes. If it was Skunk and Slug, you would have cried. Aw. If I roll a result and it's two animals that everyone absolutely hates, I'll re-roll. We're gonna eliminate all the head stuff for right now. We'll figure it out. Let's just do a blank head, and then maybe I'll do a couple like A and B options and ask the chat what they think. Let me sketch out this head. They have like, it almost juts out like a bunny nose a little bit at the end. And a nostril. Fat little lip. We're going to give him a happy little smile. They have like camel lips. See, that looks like a camel to me, but looks a little silly. But with the nice big eye, I think it'll make it cute. We're going to do maybe a closed, content, peaceful, sleepy kind of eye. And then I can give nice big eyelashes, which I think adds to the cuteness appeal here. Yeah, the nose looks so weird to me. I'm gonna look up different photos for reference. So I want him to be cute. Oh, there's some with like stumpier looking heads. I guess that would be a baby maybe, or a young one. Yeah, we're gonna make the snout or whatever a little shorter, because it looks a little creepy that long. Too camelish. Do a nice little smile. And the nostril a little bit more like this. The other one just had a weird shape. And maybe less emphasis on the bottom lip so it looks less like it's going to spit at you. That's a little better. And then they have lots of fuzz and fluff and things like that. So maybe if I add a lot of fluff on top of the head, and then I have the little antenna as the ears. It looks so ridiculous, but I mean, It is a slug llama. They're like, oh, I just have this one slug up here chilling. We're gonna get rid of him. I'm gonna do real quick an A and B on the whole ear antenna situation. Okay. Because one idea is just have the antenna replace the ears fully, right? And then the other idea is to have the antenna and the ears to make it cuter and less scary. So quickly have ears, and then almost like where giraffe horns would be, we'll put like the slug antenna. So we have option A, which is no ears, and we have option B, which is ears plus antenna. What do we think? Or something else? Make the eye just like a little dot. I like the big eyelashes on the llama, personally. That's just my pick, but... Ossicones, is that the name of the giraffe horns? I didn't know that. I'm learning so much today. You think you know everything. That looks good. Which one, the A or B? Everyone vote in chat while I use this as an excuse to keep drinking my Diet Coke. Sorry if I'm making noises. I'm not trying to do ASMR content. I think we'll add more spots as well. It just looks so goofy. Yeah, it does. There's no way to make it not look goofy. I don't think you could make a cool looking slug llama hybrid. It looks like a giraffe and not a llama. Yeah, I kind of feel that too. Alright, so we got A. I'm kind of leaning towards A even though it looks ridiculous. Ossicones. Remove the antenna. B, but maybe the ears are laying down. Okay, okay. We're going to do option C. Unprecedented. One more thing we'll try. Let's do B. But... the ears are like this instead. How do we feel about option C? Gonna vote for B. A. Was that 2 different votes for A? I think B and A are tied, so. I'll wait for one more vote. But I know there's only like 5 people here, so maybe I'll just rock with A and wrap her up. And this fluff would be a little tighter and closer to the head as well. It wouldn't be as marshmallowy and puffy as like an alpaca or something. Just a little... It's alpaca that are the real fluffy ones, right? You know, I think we're just going to move forward with A. Because it does look like the antenna that's putting you off, yeah. Why is it so hard to pick? I know. You know what? We're rocking with A. Because we have other animal hybrids to do. So we're going to cut and paste. Bye-bye B and C. We're going to rock with this. It's ridiculous, but listen. It was always going to be ridiculous. It's a llama and a slug. It's not everyone's most favorite animals. Just a little bit of fluff on the top of the head here. A little bit of fluff down the side. Kind of tapering into this level of fluff here. Make the fur less fluffy. Okay, I'll reduce the fluff. Make it smoother the more it goes down the slug body. Make it slick. And it gets smooth back here. It's kind of weird, but I mean, that's kind of what we did with the shark, but the shark was cuter, so. And we'll do some spots. It does kind of look giraffe-y, though, with the antenna and the spots. This was always going to be a weird one, guys. I think it was always going to be like this. The fur starting to make it look more like a llama. Maybe less fluff. smooth this out. And then right here, we'll smooth it out. Something like that. Salami. Yeah, Salami's the name. That was right out of the park. That was, or right out of the gate. That was the name. Salami the Slug Llama. I can't wait to write a cursive salami for the name. Get some nice big eyelashes on the old Salami. Get these weird antennae. Make it a little bit more bulbous and weird. I don't know what it would feel like to pet this thing, but it probably wouldn't be great. Be like wet, slimy fur or something. I don't know. I don't think it would be all that pleasant. And then imagining the name tag that says, "Hi, my name is Salami," at the party he's going to with all the other hybrids. And we'll do a nice happy eyebrow. Get rid of the sketch. I don't know how I feel about this one, folks, but it certainly is a slug llama hybrid. What have I done? Listen, they can't be all bangers, folks. No offense to Salami. No offense to Salami, but I'm upset by Salami's existence. But here's Salami in all its glory. Thanks, I hate it. Yeah, you're welcome. Alright, I can't promise the next hybrid will be any better, but let's see. What do we got? What will fate have for us here at the picker wheel? Let's see. Spin, spin, spin. Yeah, does everyone think Salami and Jeff would be friends, or would they have beef? Goldfish. Alright. We can do regular goldfish, we can do pop-eyed goldfish, whatever's cuter. We'll figure it out based on what we're mashing it up with. Goldfish plus... Whoops. How do I... Okay, done. Spin. No, slug was fine. There's nothing wrong with slug. Sloth? Alright, sloth and goldfish. Interesting. This is gonna be... Alright. I can't promise this one will be better either, but I have hope, because both of these are cute things. So in theory, a cute hybrid is possible, right? Alright, sloth. Look at my reference here. Goldfish. If we can slug again. No, we're boycotting slug. A mermaid sloth. Oh, yeah. Duh. A goldfish mermaid sloth. Genius. I like the way you think. Alright. I'm trying to think of what pose for the sloth. Maybe it's swimming around upside down as if it's hanging from something. I'm just getting an idea of sloth limbs and how to pose them. An arm is something like this, with maybe eyes looking up like that. Then we gotta think of cute ways to combine goldfish features in, so maybe just fins. And then goldfish tail like that. One arm can be like this. It's swimming through the water. The claws. Dumb and lazy hybrid. Yeah. Well, we're working with what the wheel has decided, so this is all the wheel's fault. If everybody hates something I drew, it's not my fault, actually. It's the wheel. So we have one arm like this and maybe one like that. Or... Here, just move this to the side. You just puzzle through how a sloth could swim. I mean, very slowly, obviously. Just trying to think of a cool pose. Don't like that. That one looks like a praying mantis. Undo. Back. No, that's a little too like Scyther or praying mantis or something. You could do like a fat goldfish body like this and then have the tail kind of wrap around like that. No, that looks a little stiff. Loosen it up a little. Loosen it up a little. He's flowing. They do swim. I didn't know this. Let me look up sloth swimming. Sloth swimming. Oh, they do swim. That's adorable. I feel like I'm like watching an Animal Planet show or something today. I'm learning so many factoids. Ossicones, swimming sloths. Oh, I kind of like this pose of the swimming sloth. See if I can find a really good reference of one. Really paddling it up. No, I didn't want to still have Sid the Sloth from Ice Age. Sid the Sloth. There's a show called Spliced about hybrid animals. Interesting. Go back to that one photo. Where was it? That had a pretty cool pose. I like the way this looks. And you know what's funny is I think there's an illustration that pops up when you scroll for a bit, sloth swimming. That's a really cute illustration in like a flat minimal kind of style. And I've definitely saved that on a Pinterest board for like art inspiration. Huh. Funny how that works out. Okay. Alright, push this to the side. I like the head up out of the water. Well, in this case it would be underwater, but I'm looking at the photo and the body's kind of like back here. And then one arm is kind of curled like this, and the other arm is like this in front. And then there could be a tail here, and the tail shape can kind of wrap around the head shape and make a pleasing little something or other. Or it could do a nice, like, let me see. Let me cook. I'm trying to think of a nice line of action that can go through the whole thing. So these arms could make all kinds of shapes, so it could be like that, or it could be, let me think. Wonder how many more animal facts it's going to take for y'all to realize you were the kid who tipped their glasses up and said, actually. No, I was that kid, when I was a little kid. I corrected my elementary school teacher about, like, she said Stegosaurus when she meant Triceratops. And I was the Hermione Granger raising my hand like, I think you meant Triceratops. And she hated me. She had to get reprimanded because she was, like, mean to me during a parent-teacher conference. Mrs. Montgomery. She was about 800 years old when I was a kid, so I'm sure she's no longer with us unless she's an evil witch that's lived to be 600 years old, but she's not harassing kids anymore. But I was very much the know-it-all. Poisson le Steve, it's a goldfish with arms and legs. Sounds cute. What was I doing? I was trying to figure out how to pose this here creature. This is the hard part. The rest of it's all going to come together. I could do... Oh, that's kind of pretty. The way it makes this nice little, like... How do I make it a proper S? I guess that's not too far off. I'm thinking way too hard about this as well. She sounds like an evil witch regardless. Yeah, she was not a nice lady. She had no business teaching small children anything. She was so mean. I don't know who hired her. I mean, they hired her back in like the 1500s and she just had tenure or something. I don't know. She was a witch, yep. I forgot that she had a big rabbit. I don't remember that. You do not have the guts to say bad things online. I'm being pretty nice. She was even meaner than I'm letting on, actually, but I'm being pretty charitable with her. She had a pet rabbit. Well, yeah, I remember. I remember, who was it that had the pet iguana? She's lure kids into her gingerbread house. Yeah, exactly. That was her whole scheme. Okay, I think I'm gonna rock with this pose, and I'm gonna do, because there's so many little pieces of pencil all over the place here. It's kind of making me nuts. So we're gonna do a quick draw over of just this loose shape. Like the head, body, tail, arm, other arm. And then delete that. Excuse me. And then let's figure out how to place things on here on this little shape. Sloth cartoon. Yeah, I agree. That's a kind-natured thing to say. Miss Frizzle from Magic School Bus said the iguana. Yeah. That's the character. But Caitlin, what was the teacher? Did you have her in high school? Somebody had a pet iguana. It wasn't Mrs. Hubble. I don't think it was somebody else. And yes, we did have a science teacher named Miss Hubble, like the telescope. Yeah, Miss Frizzle from Magic School Bus. Yeah, had an iguana. All right, cartoon sloth. I want to do kind of a simpler sloth head. It's not going to be super realistic or anything, because I think that makes it cuter. Where if you simplify it to just the two shapes for where the eyes are, like the eye masks. And like this. Then they have this cute little, almost like an otter, how I draw otter noses, where it's like this round diamond shape. But it's a little bit more round. And like a pig nose, where it's got little nostrils. They're so cute. I'm going to draw a happy little face on him. Then we'll do my normal style eyes, unless you guys want to see dot eyes or something. But I think this one will be cute with some nice expressive kind of Disney style eyeballs, but we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. Just roughly sketching them in. I want him to be looking up at the surface of the water. All right, that's a really rough sketch. I'm so sorry. In my mind it makes sense, but it's looking real scuffed at the moment. We'll fix it up. Don't you all worry. I have a vision. Let me cook. Something like that. And then I want to put some kind of fin on the top to make it more goldfishy as well. It's not just going to be the mermaid tail. I want to add some stuff on top. Hubble had a snake and frogs. Yeah. I was referring to a real teacher I had back in the day who had an iguana, but it was Miss Hubble, another real teacher I had a snake and frogs. I remember the snake because she fed the snake mice in the class. Miss Hubble the telescope. And she gave me a fear of ever having contacts or having super long nails, because she had one eye that was not like, that didn't work, and it was lazy because her son, like, accidentally, while they were sleeping in the same bed together, her like little son scraped her cornea off with her nail. So now I'm like terrified of like touching my eye. That's a fun story. Did everyone have the same teacher? Yes. Welcome. What kind of school was this? I don't know. One in middle of nowhere, Michigan. That's what kind of school it was. What was I even talking about like 2 seconds ago? Okay. Goldfish features. Let's stay on track. I have the rough outline of a sloth. Let's do goldfish. He was actually no, he was like little, an age where the kid would be just rolling around, tossing and turning. Eyeballs, yeah. He's talking about eyeballs. Well, what kind of goldfish are we thinking? I guess just the standard goldfish. There's the ones that look like they have weird little brains on top of their heads. Those aren't very cute. Pop-eyed goldfish are cute, but I don't think I want to do that for this particular hybrid. So for now, I want to add a nice fin on top of the head, but maybe a little bit further back on the head. So like coming out from here. Perhaps? I feel like I'm all over the place this stream too. But I feel like I have to compensate for the fact that I couldn't get the music working. So I'm just yapping and yapping. Though I don't think anyone notices. It's fine. Just me. And then another long flowy ooh, you know what would be good inspiration actually is... What is the fish from Fantasia that has like the see-through tail? I want to see that real quick. It's not like an accurate goldfish, but I do like the shimmery, shiny shape of everything. Ooh, or even better, the fish from Pinocchio. Cleo, right? No, I want to go back to real goldfish reference. That's not helpful. I thought it would be for the tail shape, but alas. Goldfish tail. I think it's almost too evenly segmented parts. I just want to see if one half is bigger. Like the shark fin, the top half is noticeably bigger. But I think it's more or less the same on the top as it is the bottom. Okay. Yeah, that looks about right. And it curves in the middle like... So here's one part, and then it kind of curves, and then there's the other part. And it ends pretty abruptly where the tail actually starts. And then we'll do scales up to like here. And then this will be all fur, sloth fur. But it'll be kind of swishing around in the water. So maybe going this direction, like up. And a little bit of fur here. And then I'm thinking maybe like barnacles or something growing on him. Because you know how like sloths, if they're so still and stationary, they can get moss on them. I'm thinking maybe some barnacles or shells or something like clinging on. I think that would be kind of cool. And then we'll get... This guy would be Stuart. Stuart's a good name for him. I like that. Yeah, and it does... I'm looking at where the lines end in the tail shape. It's something like that. A seashell necklace made from seaweed. Oh, he could have a little necklace. You know what? We're going to give him a cool little shell necklace, maybe? Like made of seaweed. Maybe it's like braided seaweed. It's a little bit of extra detail for a character that we normally wouldn't do, just the animal, but it's kind of fun. If he is a mermaid, he's maybe a little bit more of a guy than he is an animal, you know? Let's make this body a little bit smaller. Oh my god, no. No, we're gonna keep him a peaceful, pacifist creature. Sloths are naturally very peaceful, I think. I'd like to imagine. I mean, they don't have energy for much else, so... Are they water guns? Yeah, maybe. Bubble guns. A harpoon gun. Now look at how peaceful and happy he looks. We're not giving him a weapon. I'm vetoing giving this guy a weapon. I'm making that executive decision. And then we'll do... Isn't there like another fin on the bottom of the body? Yeah, there's like another one. So we'll just... Let me get goldfish side view. Side view. Yeah, there's like another little fin down here. It's like... Okay, sorry. I have a hard time flipping things around in my mind, so the reference I'm looking at is like this. So flipped, it would be like that. Okay. For some reason, I have a hard time imagining the reverse of things. I have to like actually reverse them. That kind of interrupts the flow of the tale, so I might omit it, but I just wanted to add another goldfishy detail. Because I don't want to give him like gills or anything, because I think that's more creepy than it is cute. But I wanted something else goldfishy. But I suppose this will do. Alright, and plus I want to move on to some other hybrids as well. I think this is plenty of detail. Let's clean up. And let's Google Barnacles. Barnacles cartoon. Jeff, Salami, and Stewart. Yeah, we got the whole lineup here. Barnacles on boat. Show me what those look like. That's way too much detail. Barnacles on boat cartoon. Anybody want to help me out with that? Or maybe Barnacles clip art or something? I might. Or maybe from Pirates of the Caribbean or something. One of those guys, so they have all the stuff on them. Oh, or you know what's even cuter and easier to draw? So I'm going to have a little starfish clinging onto him. Perhaps. I like the idea that they want to hang out with him. So we're going to do that. Even though Barnacles makes way more sense and fits more with like the moss that would grow on a sloth, starfish are cuter, and I'd rather draw starfish, so we're doing that. Just some starfish clinging onto him for the ride. A little bit of detail on him. This is my executive decision. The starfish is called Jellyfin. Goldfish are freshwater. Yeah, you make a good point, but also it's cute. So what is seaweed if not sea moss? See, the thing on this stream is if it's cute, it takes precedence over whether it's realistic or not. That's the law of the land here. And I think the starfish are cute details, so I'm going to leave them. But you are correct that it wouldn't make sense. But I guess if he's more of a magical being that just happens to look like a goldfish, but is actually a mermaid, I guess he could live in salt water, like a mermaid. Right? If we want to try to justify it. Which we don't have to. You can just say, yeah, Alyssa's a bozo and just does whatever she feels like, but which is true. Yeah, objection overruled. It's cute. It's cute and I like it. So we're keeping it. And also, it doesn't have gills or anything, so I don't know about the breathing situation. But we can just say magic because it's a mermaid. Maybe this is the magic shell necklace that allows this mermaid creature to even exist in the first place, let alone breathe with lungs underwater and be able to live in fresh or seawater as it pleases. That's my logic, and I'm sticking to it. And this is supposed to be braided seaweed, but I don't know how well it's gonna come across. Under, over, under, over. Let me sure. Okay, this one will go over. Think. Over. Then under. Then over. Then under. That's good enough. And with color, it would look like seaweed. But for now, it's just going to look like a weird, twisty necklace. Give him these nice, cute eyes. Have him look kind of up toward the surface of the water. otter. We're spinning a wheel, if you see the wheel. So we could end up with an owl otter hybrid next. That would be cute. I'm hoping we get at least one otter hybrid. Oh, I should have put bats on there too. Maybe next time. I could add it, but like, you see how many options there are already? I think I'll put a hard limit of like, if an option comes up twice, I'll get rid of it from the wheel. Like if we roll llama again, I'm getting rid of llama. I think that's fair. Slug, I think everyone will boycott, so I might get rid of slug. Unless whatever it's paired with would be actually cute somehow. Then we'll roll with it. Get rid of the excess. Add some little shines in. How sweet is he? Replace slug with bat. Ooh, I might. I might just do that. That's actually a good idea. Nobody wants to see any slug hybrids anymore. We're done with slugs. I'm glad we did the one just to look at it and go, no thanks. I think we're good on that. They can be cute, yeah. I think it just matters what the hybrid is. So I think the llama was like not the best thing it could have been a hybrid with. I don't know what would be cute on that list as a slug hybrid, but it wasn't llama, as we discovered. Okay, they're not so pretty looking at the base of the tail here, but for a rough sketch, I think that's an okay start. And if any of these are like the chat favorites, I might do final color art of them in a future stream. But we're going to leave them all rough, like drafts, sketches, if you will, for now. That way we can fit plenty of them in. Still have another hour-ish on this stream. Maybe even a little longer if I'm having fun. We'll see. How's life been, by the way? Not bad, not bad. Freelancing, voice lessons, chillin'. Not too bad. Alright. You love Stuart so much. Sea slugs are nice. Yeah, sea bunnies are really cute. Alright, I think this is a decent enough start for Stuart. Stuart. I like how we're giving them all names. I think that's fun. I want to add really quickly just the grayscale. Not like that. Not like that, even darker. Just on where the eye mask is, just to really make it look more slothy. Because without that, it's kind of not as slothy as it could be. So... not bad, not bad. Lower the opacity a bit. Merge it down so it's one. Stuart. And add a couple little bubbles. Because it's cute. Alright. One more down. Let me put him on the screen here. Nice and big. Waiting for my stream to catch up so I can see. Would be gold at the bottom and gray at the top. Yeah, I guess so. He could be gold all over, but maybe a darker, more moody gold for the fur part. And then brighter, shinier, more metallic gold on the bottom. Let's put Stuart up here for a sec. I'm going to take a drink of my drink here, and then we're going to roll that wheel again. Or spin it. One sec. I've had a special request from my niece for a dog beaver. So that'll be at the end of the stream, I think. I'm going to make a note. Do not forget Dog beaver. Dog beaver. I wasn't going to take specific requests, but for a small child, I will. Dog beaver. I'll do that at the end. Next, we're going to spin that wheel. Would Stuart Beagle? Oh, I already read that. Let's spin. Looks like mouse. Yep, alright, mouse. Mouse and... what do we got? Moth? Spider. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Family comes first. Alright, moth, or mouse, excuse me. I was hoping for moth because I think that would be really cute, but mouse and spider. Okay. This might be another slug llama situation where it's not really cute, but first of all, we'll do like a jumping spider, something really cute and fuzzy and sweet, like Lucas the spider. Let me look up Lucas. We're not going to do a spooky spider. I think we could make a cute little jumping spider with mouse ears and a mouse tail, perhaps? I think that would be the move. Moth would be cute, like a little fairy. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Your imaginary friend was a dog beaver of sorts. Aw, a cheetah beaver dog running alongside the car and chopping down trees. I love how we all imagine different things, like staring out the window out of the car, imagining like somebody running or an animal or something. Multiple eyes and legs with a really long tail. Yeah. Alright, we're going to use Lucas as the inspiration because I do want it to be cute. I don't want a spooky spider. We want a cute spider. Oh, that's a cute picture of Lucas. His name doesn't have to be Lucas. I'm just inspired by Lucas the spider, which is a favorite of my niece's. Because he's just so cute. I'm just going to roughly draw in what I see for Lucas, and then we'll mousify it a bit. He's got stubby little fuzzy pincers, I guess, up front. Then fuzzy legs. The main eyes are big and the others smaller. Yeah, that's how they did the Lucas design, where he's got like the big predominant eyes here and then the smaller ones over here. I'm just going to make it look real cute real fast. How many? Oh, I had to think about how many legs a spider has for a second. I'm like, 8, right? Not 6. Okay. And these 2 in front are legs, right? So 6 and then 8. Unless I'm wrong. No, these are like the little mouth things. Those aren't... I don't know the names of parts of spiders. I apologize for the spider experts in the chat. But no, I don't think those are legs in front. I think those are like his little mouth. Yeah, that's his mouth. Okay, so we'll do another set of legs back here. Okay, cool. And I think all the legs would attach to the middle part of the body. Right? We'll go jumping spider. Show me the jumping spider. Oh, the one with his little leg in the air that's waving high. Cute. She's loving it. Fangs. Yeah, Fangs. Thank you. Thank you. I thought they had a different name, but... Let's see. I'm trying to see how the legs attach to the body. So I think they all come out of the front part of the body except the last pair of legs. Okay. There's the thorax, and I can't remember the other parts of what the body's called, but we're just going to exaggerate and do a chubby little stubby body in the back anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter, but... And we're making it super cartoony, so... Chelicerae. I'm going to need a phonetic pronunciation of that, because I know I butchered that. Yeah, we could keep it as Lucas, or we could come up with another name. I'm going to look up mouse ears and mouse tail. And think of other ways we could mousify this. Field mouse. Oh, whiskers perhaps? Do little mouse ears. Like that. And maybe you could do some cute little whiskers on him. Shelicerae. Shelicerae. I don't know where the emphasis is. Shelicerae. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering that. I'm learning so much today. Mr. Webbs. Mouster Webbs. Yeah, taking any and all name suggestions for this little guy. And then having a tail seems a little unnecessary, but so is having whiskers and ears, so I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, Lucas is just an inspiration. It doesn't necessarily have to be his name. Well, a field mouse tail doesn't necessarily curl like that, even though that is cute. I guess it doesn't have to be realistic. Let me think. The tail would come out somewhere back here. I'll have it just curl a little bit. But it wouldn't really curl too much. It would be kind of flat. But the curl is cuter. Shelicerae. Thank you. Mouster Webbs. Alright, lower the opacity. We're going to clean up with just this. And then I think we'll have time for another one and then Dog Beaver at the finish line here. Because I said I was going to go longer than 2 hours, but now that I see the clock, I'm like, actually, I'm hungry. But I will do another one of these next week, I promise, because this is a lot of fun. I like the wheel. I'm a big fan of the wheel. We'll use the wheel for other stuff, too. Make him a little fuzzy wuzzy. We'll give him real big, cute eyes, front and center. And Lucas the spider, the black part of his eye is huge, but we're going to make ours a little bit smaller. Make it a little different. The pupil, not the black part of the eye. I am just like not remembering the names of anything today. Fangs, pupils. I'm blanking on that, but at least I have enough brain cells clanging around to draw still. Just words are escaping me today. Shelicerae. It's a new vocab word. Make him nice and fuzzy. Make sure these other eyes get in on the action too. Put them on the head and not floating off. Have them looking toward the viewer. Get these cute little mouse ears in on this. Let's get some shines in the eyes to make him extra cute. Cute and cuddly. A new character with the wheel? We could. We could do all kinds of things with the wheel. There's endless potential with the wheel. And to think, I just did it because I think it was your suggestion, actually, Leafy Kitty, with all the different hybrid ideas on a wheel. It's like, you know what? Let's actually do a wheel. Let's just do it. I had to count the legs again to make sure I wasn't adding 10 legs to the spider for some reason. And I guess it would connect to the body right around here, so I guess I'll add just a little bit extra. Right here. Or no, it wouldn't connect to the head like that. We're gonna ambiguously leave it like this so it kind of looks like it connects back here. But I like the shape it makes when it's like this, so it's kind of vaguely floating in front of the head. That's okay. It looks cute. And again, keeping this nice and loose, but still giving the idea of fuzzy jumping spider legs. Readjusting the brush size off and being extra intentional with the pressure. For me, so if you can see on the left, you can set brush sizes. I have these set to these sizes because I needed them specifically, these widths, for some project I was working on. So I've just left them alone, even though I don't work on that project anymore. But normally I like this one that's kind of in the middle, which is like 10%, and I just use pressure. And if I need it a little bit thicker, I'll jump it up to here, and just pressure is the name of the game with it, though. You can get a really wide variety of sizes. Like, see the biggest one, gentle pressure, you can still get a pretty light stroke, but it adds more texture, see? But if you want less texture and more opacity, I would use a smaller brush. But the bigger you can get, from this small all the way to this big, you know, that wasn't a very smooth push, but you get the idea. You can get a pretty big variety out of one set brush size, but you will get more texture if you put less pressure, if that makes sense. But just mess around with the sizes and see what works for you on the size of canvas you like to use. The wheel is over it, I think. Why did it disappear? Oh, it just like moved up on the thing. All right, we'll add some whiskers. And delete the sketch layer. And then what do we decide was the name? Mouster Webs. Mouster Webs. That's his name, and he's sticking to it. I think he's pretty cute. I was a little worried about Mouse Spider. I'm like, this is going to be kind of freaky, but... Alright, I think we're good on that. And then let's see. Excuse me, how far? Yeah, we have time to do one more, and then Dog Beaver to wrap it all up. Webster. We'll put Webster here too. Webster. We'll put both the names there for now. We can always make a determination later. Let's do one more wheel spin. See what we get. Duck? Duck or iguana? What are we getting? Iguana! Alright, cool one. Iguana. Let's bump that brush size up. Iguana. And... Iguana plus what? Webster's his nickname. Yeah, call. Good call. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. Octopus. Iguana and octopus. It throws the hardest one at me at the end here. Iguana and octopus. Okay. Let's really think this one up. All right. Well, let's not open a new window. Okay. Close these other tabs out I have full of goldfish and mice and sloths. And let's look up an iguana. Let's get an idea of an iguana. Iguanoctopus. Ooh, the first picture that comes up of this black and white striped iguana is really, really cool. And octopuses change color with the like black and white, I think. Octopus color change with like the black and white stripes that kind of animate on it when it's... Oh, cool. Where is it? Octopus color change black, white. With the stripes. Yeah, okay. The mimic octopus. Yes. Okay, it's all coming together. Okay, mimic octopus. Wibby. I like Wibby. Okay, mimic octopus with the black and white stripes, iguana. The proper term. Yeah, octopuses is the correct plural. Even though octopi is a cool word, it is not the right one. I'm not necessarily concerned with correct over cool, but I will use the correct term. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, is get the iguana shape down and then get some tentacles and things added. I think that's the way to go as well. There's more structure to the iguana than the octopus. New iguana species found hiding in plain sight. Let me figure out what is this iguana species because it's beautiful. The black and white one that I'm seeing on Google here. Pink rhino iguana? Is that what it's called? Just the first thing that comes up in Google Images when I type in iguana is this big, beautiful black and white striped iguana. That's an amazing looking creature. Alright. I'm going to look at him for reference. The tail could be a tentacle. Oh, that's a good call. Let me do the head and body. And not the legs necessarily yet. We'll figure that out in a minute. We'll do like the head and the body, and I like the spikes on the top and the spine of the iguana. Okay, let's think this through. Let's get the iguana head shape in. Maybe we'll make him look a little cranky. We've done so many happy animals. Maybe we'll make him look a little dissatisfied, grumpy, something. Let's see. I don't know what this thing is called. This part on the iguana. We could always eliminate that and make that something else, but oh, I'm gonna learn something else. Let's go. Octopi is the oldest plural form of octopus, coming from the belief that Latin origins should have Latin endings. However, octopus is not a Latin word, but a Latinized form of the Greek word octopus. Consequently, its correct plural form would logically be octopodes. Interesting. I've said octopuses for years, so maybe I'm wrong, but... And we're really going to be simplifying, because if you want to get lost in the weeds of an iguana, there's lots of little details in the scales and things like that, but we're going to whittle it down to just a few things that make it read as an iguana. We'll have him look a little grumpy, cranky, perhaps, just to add a little bit of variety to the characters today. Not everybody can be delighted. Is this how the nose looks? No, it's more like a circle nostril. Let me zoom in on this guy. He's got little horns and doodads on his nose as well. He's got like little... Which I like that little bit of detail. I'm giving him an underbite just for comedic effect, but I don't think that's actually how the lips work. It's like 2 with the scales, but for characterization's sake, I'm giving him an underbite because it makes him look a little cranky. The English teachers I have to grow with have been wrong about something else. Yeah, go figure. Should we give Wibby the big thing on the octopus's head? Maybe. I'm gonna work on Wibby's that's the name we're rocking with, is Wibby. I'm gonna do the main body of Wibby here first. So like the head almost is like lost under a fold of like skin here, it looks like. And then the rest of the body is like this big, it's like one hump and then a big back, and then this is where about the tail would start. So I'm just going to draw this shape. It's going to look real funky for a minute, but I want the body to be kind of done, and then we'll figure out where to put all the octopus stuff and everything else. It's got like round cheek thing here. And he's got spikes here. He's got these funky little spike things here. I don't know what this is called, this part, but iguanas have them. The little ear thingies on the octopi's head. Yeah, I don't know what that is either. I know woefully few names for stuff on an animal's body. I don't know the names of all these things. I feel like I should know the names of these things. I grew up watching nature shows and stuff, but there's so much I don't know. Every day is a school day, right? Octopodes is correct, and I've just assumed that ever since According to Google, it's technically correct, but most people don't use it. I think octopi is the one that's most wrong in modern usage, I feel like. But maybe that's just me being stubborn because I say octopuses. I don't know. I don't have any idea. I know so little about animals this stream is revealing to me. I should have paid more attention to the nature shows. I don't know anything about animals as it turns out. Alright, and then the stripe shapes we're going to simplify because they're very detailed as well. It's almost like pixel art the way the scales are. It's really cool. It kind of has a gradient fade out effect too, but we're just going to simplify it. Kind of like this, and then the shapes are all filled in, which I'll do a nicer job of in the cleanup sketch. And then the eyes also have kind of a ring around them. A little bit of scales. Okay, grumpy iguana body. Done. Now let's take a look at this here mimic octopus and figure out how to work that in. And maybe he has front legs, because I like the iguana toes, how long they are. They're kind of like long and weird. So I kind of want to maybe have him, maybe he'll have his arms crossed because he's cranky, just so I have an excuse to have like the fingers sticking out, because I think that's kind of cute. And then maybe let me cook. If I tilt the body like so, I still have the spikes, right? And then maybe tentacles start coming out of here, like where the tail would be. I'm going to take a look at the octopus rough here in a sec. Mimic octopus. Maybe the tail's a fishtail, the fingers are flippers. Octopus don't have tentacles at all. Are they called something else? I always thought it was called tentacles, but what do I know? Clearly nothing. Yeah, the mimic octopus has some really interesting spikes on its eyes, so I might work that in as well. Named for their 8 limbs, known generally as arms. The cousins, the squid, and the cuttlefish have 8 arms plus 2 tentacles. Oh, so the tentacles are just the things, like the squid things that have like the spade end on them, like that. And then the rest of these would be arms. Interesting. I am learning so much tonight. So the arms, we're going to do the arms. I'm going to erase some of this and we'll figure out new stripe shapes based on where the arms go. The iguana's tail is a fish tail. I think because this is supposed to be an iguana and octopus hybrid, I don't know if there's necessarily a good reason to add a fish tail. Like, I guess we could, but for purposes of this hybrid, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to add this spike thing to the above the eye, because the mimic seems to have that. It's like black on one side and white on the other. So I'm going to imitate that. And that's just a matter of placing the arms. So 1. Make sure I have room for all 8. We'll curl them in on each other if they need to be curled to have room. We don't want any of them to be significantly longer than the other. If it's not perfect, it's fine. But, you know. 3, 4. Like, some of these are, like, if you stretch them out, they're going to be a little bit longer. Merriam-Webster is not a fan of octopodes. Podes is a Greek ending and assumes octopus is Greek, which it is against. It is meant to be pronounced octopodes, but I will say octopodes out of spite. Interesting. Ursula. Iguana Ursula. Yeah, Ursula would actually be a good ref for the arms, but I'm lost in the sauce now. One. I'm literally gonna write how many there are, so I don't miscount. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to fit 4 more in here. So 1. Let's see. I want 1 more up, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of splayed all over the place, but I kind of like that. So maybe something like this. Wibby's Engie. Yeah, Wibby and Stuart could be friends. I don't see why not. Okay, this will be a doozy to clean up, but I'm cooking something. Listen, these are quick concept sketches. They're not bad for what they are, but they could do with a lot more TLC. But I want to have time for cleaning this one up and then doing the dog beaver as I promised. I have to keep a promise to my niece. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I do have 8. And then I want to do, he's got his arms crossed, like actual iguana legs, arms, whatever, crossed up here. And then just so I can have one iguana leg sticking out like that. I just wanted an excuse to draw the weird little long fingies, toes, because I think they're cute. And the other one could just be tucked in here. He just needed to have his fingers showing. I wanted to make him look grumpy. Okay, so we're going to have black stripe, and then we're going to have to transition into the black stripes that go across all the different legs. So we're going to have the legs start up here, and then start these stripes. Actually, let's make this stripe go all the way down, and then just start adding in stripes all the way down. I'm not going to sketch them in on every single leg, but just to give me an idea for when I clean up. Something like that. And what else is it about the mimic octopus that I could mimic? Haha. I guess I could have the pupil shape be a little more octopus-like, where it's kind of weird, but yeah, let me look up octopus eye shape. Rectangular pupils, like a goat. Just to make it a little bit more octopus-like. Kind of subtle, but now he looks even crankier, and I'll make the highlight rectangular also. I think that's a nice touch. And then the spikes on his back are going to be just like the iguana spikes. Some really long, some not as long. They're kind of different all up and down the spine. And they kind of bend over like that. I'm going to have them get smaller as we get closer to the arms. I think that's pretty cool. The crossed ones, they look like goat eyes. Yeah, Grumpy Montgomery. Yeah, if it was a dolphin hybrid or something, it'd do flippers. Alright. Or seal or something. Flippers, fins. I don't know the names of animal parts, clearly, so. Alright. I think this is a good enough rough sketch. We're gonna see how grueling it is to clean up here. And I guess I'll make, this arm can be colored in black. I guess it doesn't matter. I just wanted to draw these weird little long iguana toes. Wibby. His full name can be Wibby Montgomery. How about that? Very formal name. Oh, these should be a bit pointier because it's kind of like the mimic octopus spikes. Black and white. And he's very crabby about something. Not sure what, but he's just crabby. Let's do these horns on the nose. I have to remind myself I don't have background music going, so I gotta keep yapping. I'll figure that out for next week too. I have no idea why it wasn't working this stream. Just a pain. He's got this big circular cheek thing, which I don't know what this is called, but iguanas have that too. It kind of reminds me of the orange cheek on a budgie, or not a budgie, a cockatiel. Excuse me. This is the animal AU for The Little Mermaid. Ariel is a sloth and Ursula is an iguana. Yeah. The real Disney movie we all wanted to see. It was an animal hybrid version of Little Mermaid. That was my favorite Disney movie as a little kid. Hands down. I knew every word by heart, not just the songs, all the dialogue and everything. I still know the songs by heart, but alright. These legs, I gotta focus. These arms, whatever. Even though some of these look a little bit shorter than others, we're gonna ignore that, okay? I'm making an executive decision that actually all these arms can be different lengths, and it's fine, actually, because I said so. They should all be the same length, but maybe that's for another stream. If we decide he's the favorite and deserves some real art, full color, and all the bells and whistles, then and only then will I sit there and like think about each of them being the same length in depth. Fun and fancy free for you. That was your Disney movie? Yeah, I wore out the tape on The Little Mermaid. That VHS tape probably does not even work anymore. You love all these guys? Thank you. I've had a lot of fun doing these. I like the wheel. I like the improv nature of it. Having to just think up stuff on the fly is really good. And it's been a good warm-up because I have a little bit of client work I have to do after I get off stream and find something to eat. So this will be a good warm-up for making a little shmoney tonight before I go to sleep. Lots of fun. Your favorite Disney movie for a long time was Zootopia and Tangled. Zootopia is really cute. I've only seen Tangled the one time and I liked it. Thought it was very cute as well. I grew up with all the 2D ones because I'm an old woman. So I grew up with Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin, Lion King, and all those. But I have seen some of the newer ones. The newer Disney flicks. This this arm, is getting lost behind these other two, so we're gonna kind of open this up a little bit. And I guess some of them can be behind the others. I guess that's fine, but it looks a little off. We're gonna let that slide for it. We can't be agonizing over that right now. Because I do need to draw a dog beaver. And calamari for dinner? No. No animals for me. I have a leftover falafel wrap from the Mediterranean place I went to on my walk home from my singing lesson today, so I have leftover falafel wrap, and I have a bunch of hummus, but I ate all the pitas that they gave me, so I'll have to scrounge around. I think I have some tortillas or something I could dip in it, but I'll find something to do with it. Or maybe just eat it with some rice and veggies. Yes, I will do a recap of all the hybrids that have been drawn today at the end of the stream. Just doing the stripes. Yes, including the ones last week. I'll show those too. I did not do any more work on the Moo Moo Meadows piece. I said I was going to off stream, and I still intend to. I just did not this week. That is this coming week's problem for me. I'll finish it. So I want to. I think it'll be a good piece when it's done. I just haven't gotten around to it. And then I'm going to add in just dark gray shading for the stripes underneath this layer. See. Leftover falafel wraps, your favorite food ever. The day old, slightly less structurally sound ones wrapped in oddly damp tinfoil. Yup. A lot of foods like that where it's just better if it's been sitting in the fridge. Like chili is better a day later. Cold pizza is as good, if not better, depending on the pizza. But yeah, any kind of wrap or sandwich or whatever definitely benefits from just sitting around in the wrap for a while. For how fast I threw this together, I don't think it's that bad. Like, I think it's okay. I'm going to shade in all the stuff that I think would be dark in the final art if I were to ever make final art of him, including the stripes. This part would be dark also. Let's make this a little bigger. Let's color in all these stripes. A sloth Ariel and iguana Ursula, yeah. Falafel is, if you've ever had chickpeas, it's like kind of mashed up chickpeas with spices and seasonings and formed into balls like meatballs and then deep fried so they're crispy. Crispy on the outside and nice and soft on the inside. And they're usually served with like a tzatziki sauce, which is like a, I don't even know what's in tzatziki. I think it's like sesame seeds, isn't it? No, that's tahini. I'm thinking tahini. Tzatziki is what they put on the gyros, I think, like a yogurt sauce. But anyway, I'm thinking of tahini, which is like sesame seed. Or with hummus. My falafel wrap came with a couple falafel balls with some lettuce, tomato, and hummus. It was very fresh and delicious, and I still have half of it to eat later. So, very, very tasty. And then the wheel gave us, listen, the wheel giveth and the wheel taketh away. But I think we've had some winners. It was just the slug llama that was a little sus. Everything else has been pretty good. I've wondered for years and never bothered looking it up. Yeah, it's delicious. A lot of Mediterranean places will offer it, which is good for me because I don't eat meat. It's a good veggie option. And it's usually cheaper than everything else on the menu. It's bonus, so... You have your chicken and beef shawarma. I'm getting the cheap falafel ball wrap. Saving like $2. Oh, I gotta get rid of some of these little excess lines here. Right, that. There, just clean it up a little bit. Doesn't need to be perfect. Some of this can go outside of the lines. That's fine. That's fine. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good enough. Salami deserves a second chance, guys. I actually like the face I did on Salami, not gonna lie. I like the eyelashes and the silly little llama face. That was the first time I've drawn a llama in I don't know how long. I'm sure a client's had me draw a llama for something at some point, but I actually like the face I did on Salami. I'm pretty happy with it. The body and the antenna is a whole other thing, but at least I think I nailed the face on it. Very not food adventurous growing up, so there's a lot of food you've realized you've just never had or don't know what it is. Well, it's never too late to be adventurous with food. I will say, I was just saying this the other day to a friend of mine, that I feel like I'm a more adventurous eater now that I'm vegan than I was before I was vegan. Because before I was vegan, I would eat a lot of the same stuff over and over. Burgers and chicken and, you know, the usual. But since I've gone vegan, I'm like, I'll eat basically anything that's vegan. So I've tried a lot of Thai and Ethiopian and Indian and all kinds of cuisines that I wouldn't have necessarily wanted to try. But because options are so limited, I'm like, I need a little variety. And so I end up going to more different ethnic eateries and things. And then I want to erase some of it so it's like a little bit of a highlight on the top. Like sun's hitting it. Yeah, I think that'll look good. There we go. Wibby Montgomery, the mimic octopus iguana. Maybe if we give Salami. It's harder when you're a picky eater. Yeah, it's true. It's tough. I'm picky about some stuff and not other. Like I don't like dark green, like spinach and stuff like that unless it's cooked a certain way. I love what's the Indian dish? Is it no aloo is potato, right? I don't know. Whatever Indian dish it is that it's like spinach and chickpeas. I like spinach that way. It's delicious. All right. There's Wibby Montgomery, and I'm going to move on to a dog beaver here shortly. We're going to combine these two layers. Beautiful. What a beaut. I think that one came out really cool, actually. All right, dog beaver. I think I'm picturing it sitting on its back legs with its little paws up with a stick in its mouth. Because that would be what a beaver would do, and that's also what a dog would do. So I think that fits. Okay. So let me just sketch out some shapes of things. We'll figure out this head because I don't know what type of, like what breed of dog just yet. But maybe something with a shorter muzzle. Maybe it's a puppy. I don't know. Stumpy, like a beaver. Oh, Stumpy's cute. We're going to do a like beaver-like body. So kind of thick. Like that. Kind of like a little bowling pin. Furry little bowling pin. We'll give him dog paws. And he's got to be super cute because he's for my niece, and my niece loves cute animals. So he's got to be really squishy and huggable and cute. He'll definitely have some kind of stick in his mouth. And I think the beaver teeth are a necessity. I don't know if we want to do a beaver tail because this is just all beaver and we want dog beaver. So maybe he's got a dog tail, like a big fluffy one that's thumping so fast that it looks like a beaver tail. Like, I don't know. Something like that. Stumpy Fetchery. We want dog paws. Instead of beaver. Something like that. We got dog paws, beaver body, beaver teeth. We'll give him a dog nose. And dog ears, of course. But what kind? Do we want, like... I'm thinking, like, maybe the one up, one down. Like that. Like a bolt kind of dog. It's kind of cute. McFetchery. Nice stick in his mouth. It's like a little twig coming off of that. A little tuft of fur on top to make him extra cute. Need a little bit more room for some eyes, so we're going to scooch the skull up a little bit. Want to spot over one eye, which I think we did for another hybrid, but it's cute, so I'm going to keep it. We're just going to do classic cutesy cross-eyed, sweet, happy, fluffy puppy kind of face. Like so. This one's coming together pretty fast, actually. See, when it's super cute and squishy, it comes together pretty fast. I don't have to use as many brain cells. I had to use a lot of brain cells on old Wibby. This is a good cool down for my brain because it's just all cute. He could have a little collar on him. That'd be a little silly, but it would make him look a little bit more like a dog. We somehow made it more squirrel. Yeah, it is a little squirrelish. Maybe I make him beefier. Because beavers are quite beefy. And maybe he does need the beaver tail to look more beavery than squirrel. Maybe I'll have a beaver tail, but it'll be wagging like a dog tail. That can be the mix. So we've got a beaver tail, but it's wagging like a dog tail. Something like that. We'll have the shapes here. Stumpy McFetchery. Stumpy a collar. Yeah, I think the collar might help. He's someone's pet. So maybe like that. And the little collar, little tag. Then I kind of want to make the head a little bit bigger. Not much, but just a tad. I think that's pretty cute. What is there anything else we can do to make it either more dog-like or more beaver-like? Do beavers have whiskers? I guess they do. Yeah, so I'll do like this. I mean, dogs do too, but that might make it a little cat-like. Maybe just two short little whiskers, like two little whiskers. I think that's pretty cute. What do we think? Love the beaver tail. Cool. Yeah, we can name the other hybrids from last week too, while I'm doing the recap at the end here, because this is coming together pretty quick. And then I'm gonna get out of here to eat the rest of that falafel wrap. What are we thinking? I think this is looking pretty cute. I'll give him like a different color belly, and then if we do color of him at some point, it'll be like golden retriever color or something to make it more of a dog color than beaver color. I think that's pretty cute. I think I need to change the angle of this a little bit. I just pull it out a little like that. I think that's pretty cute. That's a dog and a beaver. And we'll do the spot over one eye because it's cute. Alright, I think that works. So let's make him a little bigger, not like that. With the uniform, make him bigger like that. And let's see. I'll do this. This is like my comfort zone because it came together really fast. Just cute on cute. It's what I know. And we'll give him a nice little shine in his eye to make him come to life. Nice big snoot. Like so. But beaver teeth, happy smile, big squishy nose, another little whisker coming off here. Well, let's get the stick shape in here. Twig with a leaf. Some tree rings. The bark detail. He's so cute. Thank you. Make sure to write his name down. What do we describe? Stumpy McFetchery? Okay. Stumpy. Whoops, that's a weird looking M. Stumpy McFetchery. So this is an Irish beaver dog. There's the ear down. We'll do the spot on his eye right about there. Some eye highlights to make him extra cutesy wootsy. He looks so happy with his stick. Both a dog and a beaver would be pleased by a good stick, so I think this is a good combo. It makes so much sense. And then tag would go in there. Like so. A bit of fur here. Get this paw drawn in. This other paw drawn in. Chubby little beaver body. More dog paws. I think this is a pretty even mix of dog and beaver traits, especially if I had color in here with the golden retriever fur color. I think then it would really be a good 50-50 mix of puppy and beaver traits. I want that slappy happy beaver tail. And we'll draw the other shapes of it because it's wagging. Because he's so happy. With the first letter of his name in the color. Stumpy. Yeah, we got S for Stumpy. Cute. Alright, I think this is a success. Folks, we did it. We've done 1, 2, oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hybrids today? Yeah. Wow, okay. Let's delete all these other layers we don't need. We'll do a quick recap here. Let me make sure that's not what I want on screen. Where's my OBS so I can see? Okay. We're gonna get a good view of everyone with the wheel not in the way here. We can actually just move the wheel off the screen for now. Goodbye, wheel. Let's get a good view of everybody from this weekend last. We'll do a quick recap. Yeah, we'll name the other hybrids too. Alright, we have Stumpy McFetchery. We have Wibby Montgomery, the iguana/mimic octopus. We have Mouster Webbs. His nickname is Webster, the spider mouse. We have Stuart, the sloth mermaid/sloth goldfish. We have Salami, the slug llama. And we have Jeffrey Bark, the bee shark. I'm happy with all of them. I think the bee shark is really, really cute. I think this one I'm really happy with, considering I thought it was going to be really difficult and it all kind of came together. I see a mistake with the crossed arms, but overall pretty happy with it. And then the dog beaver came together really fast, but I think is really cute. And let's go back to last week's. We'll give these guys names real quick. Last week's hybrids. I'll put a new layer for writing the names. We have a cat penguin hybrid. We have a snail jellyfish hybrid. We have a crocodile chicken hybrid. We have a moose dog hybrid. And we have a mouse otter hybrid that's 90% mouse. Jeffrey Bark is my fave. I really like him too. And I'll text you pictures of Jeffrey Bark and the dog beaver, so you can have those too. Mr. Grumbles for the cat penguin. All right. Mr. Ooh, this pen is huge. Take it back. New layer. Mr. Grumbles. Good name. Said like how they say good answer on Family Feud. I'm taking any and all name suggestions for the rest of the gang. My head is empty. I've been drawing all night and talking. So I have no more I have no more brain points. I have no more brain cells in my brain. I gotta go refuel so I can get that client work done tonight. Jellybean. Oh, that's a perfect name for him. Jellybean. Or her. I don't know. They're whatever you want them to be. Jellybean. We got 3 more to name here. Chicken Croc. Moose dog should be Thudwick. Thudwick, the big-hearted moose dog. Is it Thudwick or Thidwick? I don't know. It's Thudwick now. Squeak for the otter mouse. I'll make it really small too. Squeak. Just a tiny little squeak. And then we have one more in need of a name. The Chicken Croc hybrid. I'm trying to think of one too, and my head's just empty. I don't know if my eyes just like just tumbleweed in my head. Squeak and Jellybean are really good names for those guys. I can hear the tumbleweed rolling inside my brain. Like that. Trish. Sassy, I like it. Trish. You know what? I'm going to dot the I with a heart. That's a sassy name. Ooh, it could be Trish Chomper. It could be both. Trish Chomper. That's her full name. You can call her either Trish or Chomper. I mean, you can call people by their last names too. Trish Chomper. Very sassy. Alright, we have Mr. Grumbles, Jellybean, Trish Chomper, Thudwick, and Squeak. Pretty good lineup of hybrids this week and last. And I'm going to do one more all hybrids stream next week because I really like the wheel. And it's a lot of fun, and I want to do it again. So I will see you all either Friday or Saturday next week, depending on what day I feel like doing it and what day I'm not busy on, which this week it was Saturday. I'll see you all next weekend for more animal hybrids and wheel spinning fun. This was a lot of fun. I really liked it. I'll post all these hybrids to social media sometime this week, I promise. I'll see you all next time. Peace. Oh, wait. One more comment. We had too many boy names. It reminds me of a cockatrice. Yes, we'll do more girl names and hybrids next week. We'll put the emphasis on that. I default to boy animals. We're going to mix it up next week. But anyway, bye. I'll see y'all next week. Thanks for coming.